In today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys how to do some different vocal chops like this. Also, at the end of this video, I'm going to show you another way how you can use vocal chops as a way to fill in empty space in your song, so be sure to watch all the way until the end. Enjoy the video. Alright, so there are a few different vocal chops that you can do. One of them you can start off with is getting your vocals on time. So I know some people have been asking me how I get my vocals on time, and this is kind of just one way you can do that. So I'm gonna actually go ahead and show you guys what this vocal sounds like normally, and then I'll show the chopped up version of it. You don't necessarily have to do this, but you can do it if you want your vocals to be almost perfectly aligned with the beat. So this is what it sounds like cut up. See how it kind of just aligns with the beat a little bit better? What you can do is grab your cutting tool with C, cut wherever you feel like you should cut at, and kind of just move the vocals accordingly. So I'm gonna cut right here and drag it forward because I want this specific part right here to match up with the beat drop. One thing I forgot to mention is when you're sliding your vocals and you want to make it more accurate, hold Alt on your keyboard and it should help you get a little bit more accurate with that. You see how my vocal starts a little bit before this line right here? That's why I said it's important for you to have like the correct BPM, because a lot of the times like the beat is gonna align with these lines, so you want to match your vocals with the lines. So I'm just going to grab my cutting tool again. I'm just gonna cut the front part because we don't really need that, and then I'm gonna drag it backwards, so like, and then I'm gonna kind of use Alt to make a little bit more of an accurate slide, and then I can get rid of that pointy part. Now my vocals are coming in where the beat comes in, and I like that sound personally, but if you don't like that, like, you don't have to do this, obviously. But definitely for Hyperpop or Digicore, it sounds cooler, but it's really optional. It's really all up to you. Alright, now I'm going to show you how I did this back part here. It's fairly simple. I'm just going to drag this down here so that you guys can truly see what's going on here. So when finding like the right part to actually cut up, you want to make sure that you're saying like one note in your take, but if you're not, you can honestly just like record yourself saying ah, but like obviously you want to be like on key of the beat. So like in my case it would be you can do it that way, or you can really just like cut up your actual vocals that you have already done. That's what I like to do because it's just faster. I cut right here because I think this is a good spot to do it. So I hit C, boom, boom. And then, I mean, honestly, you can get rid of the end part and then, you know, hold shift and drag over to duplicate it. But now this is where it gets kind of tricky. You want to make sure that it aligns with these squares. You don't want them to be like in the middle of the squares unless you don't have like the correct BPM. In that case, that's when it's okay, but typically you don't want to be in the middle of the lines in between the squares. So let's just listen to it and see where it falls in. So it doesn't sound good right here, so I'm gonna move it over. I can move it over one more. Never want it to sound like that. Always make sure you have it in the most efficient position. So now for this case, I can kind of just drag this one out. Now that I know where I want my vocal to be, it's gonna sound like this now. So now that I've heard that, I can already kind of get an idea of what I want this part to sound like. Now I can do what I did before. I'm gonna hold shift and then drag over, duplicate it, and I can drag it over one more time. So here's what that's gonna sound like now. Now some people like to leave it that way. You can, but that's really just personal preference. But now we're gonna actually go ahead and pitch it. So now what you're gonna want to do is click this little waveform right here at the top left and make sure you make it unique. Now this is important because it'll like change your entire vocal and you don't want that, obviously. Make that unique and then double click. Alright, so here you want to make sure that your mode is set to E3 mono, and now you're going to want to play around with the pitch. Now, a lot of people are probably gonna have trouble with this when they first start doing it, only because it's like you have to kind of train your ears to know what sounds good and what doesn't. So you want to make sure that whatever sense you pitch this up, it has to be in the key of like your song. So I'm gonna go ahead and play it and kind of listen to it and see what I want to pitch it to. Actually, I think this one sounds good on its own, so I'm gonna leave it, but I'm gonna pitch this one up, this one right here. So I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna click on the left, on the top left. I'm gonna make it unique. I'm gonna double click it, make sure I set the mode to E3 mono, and now I'm thinking I want to go up. So it'll be like, just by doing that, I know that I want it to be higher than this one, which is the first one. So you can go ahead and pitch this up. So let's try 300 and see how that sounds. It's not really what I'm going for, so I'm gonna make another adjustment. Now doing this, you're gonna make a lot of errors, but that's okay. It's trial and error, and you're gonna get like the sound that you want eventually. Now I can do this, but I think I'm gonna go down to 200 and see how that sounds. Okay, that's giving a little bit more of what I want, so I'm going to kind of just leave that be. And then you can actually drag this out one. Like I like to do that, like kind of have it bleed into the next one. I like how that sounds, so I tend to do that a lot. So now this is what our vocals will sound like. You can do it like that, or I'm just gonna drag out this last part. Yeah, so I like the way that sounds, so I'm done with that. Now we're gonna move on to like those quick little stutters at the beginning. Now this one is probably like the most easy and most used vocal chop. So once again, click C on your keyboard, and then cut at the beginning of your vocal, right like where you say your word. But typically you want to pick like the more prominent sounding words, like T's and P's and like K's, C's, B's, I's, A's, just like the more prominent letter. I'm gonna cut right here. Now this is like a perfect cut. So I'm just gonna cut right there. You can cut this front part as well, because that's really just silence. And then you're gonna hold shift and then drag over one. Now you want to make sure that you leave a space in between, because it just sounds a lot better that way. So yeah, that's pretty much it. You can go as many times as you want, but you always want to make sure that you have one space in between each one. So here's what we're sounding like now. Alright, so we're already sounding pretty good. Now this is really the same process as this one. I don't think I really need to go over that again. Alright, so now I'm going to show you how to use vocal chops as a background filler. I kind of used it as that for this part of the song. Here's what it sounds like on its own. You get the point. So for this, now I did that method I was talking about earlier, where I just said like or something like that. So let me actually show you that. So here's what it sounds like originally, and I did that with my background vocal. So I kind of just cut out the best part of it, and I got this. Alright, so as you can see, I did pitch it up 300 cents. This one is pitched up 500, and this one is pitched up 400. So like I said before, it's really all trial and error. It does take a little bit of time to kind of go through each vocal and find out what works. But what I like to do is let's say I have, so now instead of having to like create another one and like go in and try to find the pitch for the like last part of this, I can use one of these to kind of fill that in. So you can do a lot of like copy and pasting. Like it's like nobody cares. Like you can just copy and paste. You don't really have to go through every single one to like get a good sounding vocal chop. So let's say I wanted to do like, I can do that, or I can use this one. And yeah, so really just experiment and play around with it and like see what you can come up with. You really just like move them around and play with it. Make different melodies and such. You do want to monitor it with the beat, so you're like doing it on the correct key. And this is what it'll sound like in the background of your song. Oh, also make sure to put like some effects on it to kind of separate it from your background vocals, because you don't really want them to like clash. So I put like a lot of reverb on mine, and I think I turned up the flangus all the way. Yeah, so here's now what that sounds like within the song. That's pretty much it. Now for this one right here, this beginning part here. So all I did for this effect is I did what I said earlier, and I just picked like the beginning part of the song, and I kind of I cut right here at the beginning of the song. I mean at the beginning of the vocal, sorry. Hold shift and then drag this over just a few times, but always make sure you skip a space. I just kind of dragged it a few times here. Let me actually clean this up a little bit. I'm holding control to select everything, and I'm just gonna hold alt to kind of make it a cleaner cut. So then you get this, and it kind of just like works with the way the beat sounds. So it's almost like a build-up. You can also use this fader right here. I dragged it all the way up. Oh, to actually get it like this, you gotta hold control and drag over what you want to consolidate. Hold control, alt and C on your keyboard, and then it should bring up the consolidating tab. Just go ahead and click start, and then you have it as like a separate audio track. Now you can also double click this and like add it to like an insert, and then put like effects on it and such. I believe I did that. Yeah, 18. Like I put some effects on it. You can do that as well. But once you do that, you just fade it in, and then you're good to go, pretty much. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Alright, so that's pretty much it for this video. If you guys enjoyed it, please make sure to leave a like and comment down below what you want me to do for my next video or any videos in the future. With that being said, take care of yourselves. I love you guys, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.